The video begins with an exterior image of the old post office tower against a bright blue sky. This is a video image of the observation level. Located in the observation level is the old post office clock mechanism that controls the tower clocks. This is a video image of the view from the old post office tower looking to the north. The image pans from left to right. A grid of buildings of nearly uniform 10-story heights stretches from the foreground to the distant horizon, separated by two streets. Cars are moving away from you on the street to the left. The buildings are a combination of historic and modern styles in muted shades of white, tan, and brick. Two adjacent rooftop decks with umbrellas, trees, planters, and contrasting decorative tile are at the tops of the two buildings closest to you. As the image pans from left to right, text labels point out features mostly in the far distance, including, at the top of the horizon on the far left, Washington National Cathedral, near the top center of the horizon, the Hughes Memorial Radio Tower. At the right side of the view, Armed Forces Retirement Home and Walter E. Washington Convention Center, a building with a wide white roof. On the far right side of the image is the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, a squat triangular set of buildings at the top of the horizon. This is a video image of the view from the old post office tower looking to the east. The image pans from left to right. Pennsylvania Avenue stretches diagonally out in front of you from bottom left to top right of the image, leading directly to the U.S. Capitol. This street separates the red terracotta-roofed buildings on your right from blocks of neutral-toned office buildings on your left. On the far left middle of your view is the wide, white, domed roof of the Capital One Arena. Sitting prominently on the left side of Pennsylvania Avenue is the J. Edgar Hoover Building, FBI headquarters. The open square to the right of the Hoover Building is the U.S. Navy Memorial. The tan National Archives Building sits on the right side of Pennsylvania Avenue, directly across from the Navy Memorial. Tucked just behind the archives is the domed white National Gallery of Art West Building. On the far right of the image, the National Air and Space Museum is facing the tree-lined National Mall. This is a video image of the view from the old post office tower looking to the south. Directly in front of you is the steep, peaked glass roof over the old post office atrium. Open courtyards and red terracotta roofs of the Federal Triangle complex surround the old post office. The long, tree-lined National Mall stretches horizontally across the image in the background. On the far left of the mall is a building with alternating sections of white stone and black glass, the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. Just to its right is the tan Hirshhorn Museum. The circular olive dome and white roof of the National Museum of Natural History rises prominently in the center of your view. Across the mall is the dark red brick Smithsonian Institution Castle. On the distant right horizon is Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. Closer in view on the far right is the white domed Thomas Jefferson Memorial. This is a video image of the view from the old post office tower looking to the west. The image pans from left to right. In the immediate foreground of the view are a series of buildings with reddish-orange terracotta-tiled roofs, and at left a curved building with a dark gray roof. In the distance, covering half of the horizon, is an area of grass and trees. The rest of the horizon is filled with a cluster of light-colored buildings. At the extreme left side of the image is a tall, white obelisk, the Washington Monument, and at its base, the dark brown African-American Museum of History and Culture. Both are labeled with text. As the image moves from left to right, other features are labeled. Federal Triangle, pointing to the buildings with the terracotta roofs. Lincoln Memorial, a rectangular white building in the middle of the green area. And in the cluster of light-colored buildings, American Red Cross National Headquarters, the White House, and Department of the Treasury Building. On the far right of the image at street level is an open area labeled Freedom Plaza. At the far right side of the view, at the top of the horizon, is the Washington National Cathedral. You are now seeing photographs of the belfry level. The belfry makes up the lower three-quarters of the old post office tower. The interior of the belfry is a large octagonal room with white walls and a black floor. In the center of the room is a collection of large, dark, greenish bells and a structure that supports the bells and allows them to swing. The bells are enclosed by a wood-framed glass structure about 7 feet tall. A series of images gives you the character of the room, such as a brass plaque entitled Ditchley Bells of the United States of America. Close-up photos of the bells show a cast seated Roman figure, the seal of the United States, the characters W4, and 1976 Whitechapel. The video ends with an exterior image of the old post office tower against a bright blue sky.